All he had to do was throw the flare, and the rest of the run would have fallen into place. That's very... What are you gonna do? Do is try again. This is lit. For Nintendo Wii, are playing in dark mode, hardest difficulty of the game. That is why our character Rachel is a shadow. That's one of the effects of dark mode. The other effect is that each level has a hidden time limit. Only when I know if I'm running out of time, that the screen will start fading to black. Be able to see very slightly on this level. Out in the shadows, you can see some of the stuff crawling around now. All sorts of ghosts and goblins, undead things, all sorts of nightmares. Step out into the shadow, drag you down into the underworld. The goal is to escape the high school by turning on enough lights to make a path to the exit, always at the top of each level. All sorts of lights. There are basic table lamps like that one on the right. This one on the left is an oscillator. Turn it on, it spins left to right pretty slowly. That is this game's version of an auto-scroll. There are TVs, there are computers, slingshots, cherry bombs, all sorts of different things that we're going to be using. A safe route for ourselves. Smashing a bunch of windows. We're gonna have to backtrack here in a second in order to get a TV remote. That TV right there. This level only has one TV. You can only have one TV on at a time, so you're not changing channels. You're rotating through the different TV remotes. It's always the same order every time. Let's see a couple of levels. First 5 levels are just a basic tutorial to get you ready for your first boss fight against the English teacher. See, when you hit her with any source of light, she's going to counterattack it pretty hard. That TV is toast. Dash that window next and cover it with shadows so no more light can get through. This is the only boss fight where using your flashlight deals damage, but she'll also counterattack you if you use it. Gotta be the last hit of the fight. I made that a little bit closer than it needed to be. That was kind of an awkward angle to grab the item from. Also, see, I'm taking the time to turn off. This meter at the top is tracking how much electricity I'm using. Too much electricity, blow the fuse box, and get to start the level over. Right at the cap. Let them out the way as I went along. Here, it's very important you don't trigger the motion sensor that's on the left. Motion sensors give you a nice big bright light, but they take a lot of electricity. Don't want to set that off. You don't have time to do that in dark mode. In light mode, I'll just set it off, and that's the faster way to get to the level. The biggest enemy in this level is the control scheme. A button does pretty much everything. Uses your flashlight to use slingshot. Also uses items on the table. Very easy to be trying to say it's a TV remote. Then you turn off the table lamp and you die because you need that table lamp on for you to. The PAL version, they remapped the buttons a little bit and they actually use the buttons on your right hand on the nunchuck. But the PAL version also patches out a quick kill on the last boss, so the US version is faster. which is unfortunate because the updated control. Nice. Very, very easy. Very frustrating to lose a level or a run. Like everything being on the A button. Just something you've got to practice for. Television's not much slower. But about computer. And on one computer in a room, every computer in the room have to be careful that you're not using too much electricity. Also see how tight the time limit is on this room. We're good. Good. Second boss fight is in the cafeteria against the janitor. He also takes damage from light, but the boss fight works a little bit different. When I turn the lamp on, it's going to appear and use his mop to turn it back off. I have to have enough lights on at the same time, max out my power meter, without blowing the fuse box. See, the time limit really doesn't help you out here. Gotta be quick on the slingshot to be able to start the fight. I'm gonna run out of time. It's a lot brighter this go around. Still waiting on that oscillator here. There we go. See how dark the screen is? Yeah, you can barely see the light meter at the top still. At least I can on my TV. It doesn't look like you can see it on stream. But yeah, that's how tight that boss fight is. At one time where I clicked my flashlight 3 times instead of turning the lamp on, those 3 clicks, that was the boss fight. At that point, there was no way to be able to finish. That is how tough the dark mode. At least for some levels. This level, yeah, a pretty. I found a solution. Find on this level. Level seems this solution to the level rather obvious to me. That isn't intended. I have a lot of time. Oh wow, look at all these what level I'm in it. Oh, this is the level I'm in. Got my split. Cherry bombs have an area of effect, so you have to be careful where you throw them, because cherry bombs don't just break windows, they break lamps too. That oscillator in particular is very, very fragile. If that cherry bomb's not basically all the way in the corner, you might be in trouble. Not entirely sure the radius of cherry bombs aren't RNG here. But it's not like I'm MLG Pro or anything. So that could be in my head. I'm not entirely sure. Bombs have a little RNG in them. So we're going to skip about 2/3 of the puzzle. An unintended solution. I think you need about 3 or 4 flares usually. 1. Gotta be very, very close to the edge of the T plate there. Right at the edge. See, I wasn't close enough to the edge of the T. This is the one level where dark mode is really a pain in the butt, because it's hard for me to... I'm actually... That's better. There's the lamp. Killed my pop filter. Excuse me. Alright. So we're in the hallway now, and like any good American high school, there are hall monitors. The one that stands still is waiting for me to stop moving. If I stop moving long enough, she dashes behind me and grabs my ankles, so I can't run away very easily. Her sister patrols the hallways. If she runs into me, or if she decides to come help her sister, she dashes behind me and takes a swipe at my head, which will kill me. The sisters don't take damage from light, they only take damage from fire. Gotta get them to stand on a flare. Now our sister's pretty close this time. You see the screens fade into black, fade into black, fade into black. This boss fight is probably the toughest boss fight in dark mode. Most of the other boss fights are basically the same. This one you have a very strict time limit. I keep saying if the time limit was 1, maybe 2 seconds longer, I'd be at least 3 to 4 times more successful on that fight than I am. The time limit's very, very strict on the hall monitors. Almost gonna miss this cycle here, but we didn't. And it's an oscillator, so being a little slow doesn't waste time. Here we go. Turn that lamp off. Gotta turn this lamp off. Gotta turn that lamp off. Like forgetting to do it. A long way to walk back around if you forget. Assuming you remember that you've forgotten. There are many, many, many walls made out of blackboards in this room, which is why we have to do a whole lot of snaking around in this level. Clicks. That window. Next to this TV. Another slingshot pellet for that window. Clicks. Map 7. Lights. Safe spot. 6 turns the TV off, and you're gonna need the extra power. Wait for the oscillator to come back down, back to the top half of the room. Right there. That's the exit. That's the lamp we need for the exit. Just barely can't reach it. Gotta wait for the oscillator to come back up. Gotta be careful, cause between dark mode and the blackboard, very easy to walk a little bit too far there. Can't walk all the way to the table. Alright, so oscillator levels. Said earlier, oscillators are basically auto-scrollers. This level is create your own auto-scroller. There are 4 lights, 1 in each corner of the room. Got to sync them up. They're all pointing at the middle of the room at the same time. Bottom right light is all the way open. All the way. All the way open. Those two should be synced up. Get back here. Should be all the way in the middle and on. Now all I gotta do is set and turn it off. Rather turn this light on. And hopefully that will be synced up enough to get me through the... Yes! Lots and lots of ways to screw up that level. But we done good, kid. We done good. Alright, this level, room 19, is a computer lab. And if you remember from earlier, turn on one computer, you turn on all the computers. I have to take my 5 slingshot pellets, break 5 computers. Otherwise, I'm gonna blow the fuse. If you're playing this casually, the only way to know which computer to break are by testing. Break the wrong computers, you don't get this path of light. Took me a little bit extra time to aim one of these pellets, but it's pretty generous with the time limit on that level, so we're okay. Another oscillator. You can see, I didn't move. I was close enough to turn the light on. I'm not close enough to turn the light off. I can use a flashlight. The game's a little inconsistent sometimes. When and where you're able to push to turn things on and off. The phone right there. Phones are only phones in light mode. That's how you get the good ending of the game, is to answer all the phone calls. If I had to answer that phone, the southeast corner of this room gets very, very tricky. Because as you can see, I'm turning off lights as I go. I have to manage my power well in this. That bottom right corner of the room might look easy, but it's quite challenging to do that quickly, optimally. It's getting darker. The auto-scroller levels, the oscillator chase is very, very tense. Because, man, if you miss a cycle, that's it. You're pretty much done for. I blew up the lamp. There's a lamp by that window, so I've got to be careful about this first. Gotta break the window, but I gotta hit the lamp. These dodgeballs are also the most frustrating thing in the game. They hit you, you die. If they bounce off the wall and hit you, you die. If they bounce off the wall and hit the floor, and the balls are finally no longer valid kill shots. I have to watch out for the rebounds. Also, when they're on the ground and before they disappear, they block your movement. So that's fun. Come on, break the lamp so I can turn this one on and turn this one on. There we go. See, the screen was starting to fade out there. I could have been slightly more aggressive there, but then you're just risking getting hit by dodgeballs, and that's no. It has a very true-to-life sound, and it snaps the camera to you when you get hit. It feels a whole lot like getting hit in the face with a dodgeball. That way. Somebody who's an expert on getting hit in the face with dodgeball. It brings back some memories. To the point where that boss fight is really what gets me want to use tilted. That's what tilts me the most in the game, is getting hit by a couple of dodgeballs. Is the sound effect and the way the camera snaps. It really grates on my nerves. Like, that's the one thing in this game that's really gets under my skin. It's not like it's poorly designed or anything. It's just the one, like, this horror type element that actually works on is of all things is the dodgeball. This gets me very, very frustrated. Very, very all the other stuff, the bugs in the follies, the spiders, it ain't nothing. Cooking stuff, that gets me a little frustrated, but get back on the saddle and start another run. And I get hit by like a half dozen dodgeballs, you forget it. I'm moving on to another game. Here I have to be. Well, I got caught on the table there, so a lot dicier than it needs. Gotta cut that lamp off. I'm not gonna make it. I'm When I come over here, I gotta turn the second flood lamp on, and if the first flood lamp is still on, that'll break the unless I turn that lamp off. Time limit on this level is very, very tight. This level only lets you use the most optimal route to beat the time limit. We're off to a lot cleaner start in this one. Go to flare! Go to flare! Also, be careful turning this lamp off. You can't be too far to the left, or you're in the shadow and you die. I think we'll be okay this time. She throws the flare. Yeah, we're good. I feel like I've missed it. No, we're good. Another computer lab. But instead of the slingshot, this time I have cherry bombs. Gotta be careful about where I chuck them. Break the wrong things. Throw the cherry bomb! Then we're in trouble. I may be in trouble already, because, couldn't get that cherry bomb out of my pocket. Oh, I was like, that doesn't quite reach. A little bit of RNG there. Sometimes the computers will, the computer monitors will flicker off. Kind of like they're going into screensaver mode. Oh my word. Have to wait for them to turn back on. That's just a really tricky angle anyway. Because the chair is right there on the corner. Easy to slip off the chair into the shadow. But also, missing the slingshot pellet, that's just... I'm gonna blame that on, watching the golf. I'm gonna blame it on the belly putter. I the Wiimote, right against my tongue here. I'm talking while I'm trying to shoot. Sometimes that'll throw my aim off. But all of these shenanigans are just to get in the this corner of the room and turn an oscillator on. Which still doesn't really do anything, but eventually it's going to point this way. And I'm going to get a bit of extra ammo and turn the computers on. I'm going to turn the computer on that's by the exit. Come back and get a flare that's near the front door, but I gotta wait for the first floodlight to turn off. We're already tapped out. Same thing on the return. Time limit's pretty generous here. Not worried about the clock. Just worried about the power meter. Let me get one extra pellet to work with in case you missed the motion sensor. Now we're on the last stage of the game. And it's a big old oscillator chase. Here, lamp here. Alright. This can be a little bit tricky. See how close you are to being in the shadow there. Let's see here, and at some point you're gonna have to wait for a cycle anyway, because you're meant to backtrack and turn old lamps off. I'm gonna sit here in the corner, and I'm gonna choose to wait for my cycle here, because A, it's very safe. B, easier to turn lamps off. I don't have to worry about getting caught out of position as much with that route. But all those lamps in the northeast corner, those are all a big waste of your... You want to come down here and get this lamp. Very little room to work with, gotta be careful. Eventually, that light we just turned on, it's gonna point up here. This is the toughest lamp to turn on in the game, because, especially in dark mode, you can't see, the blackboard's in the way, that's blocking your vision. Just one more lamp left in the whole game, you can see. In the black, it's really pushing you to keep moving there. Now we're at principal fight. Why we went on the US version. Hit the shot. That shot, principal takes damage from getting hit with cherry bombs. That shot broke 2 windows and hit the principal. The principal's not supposed to be able to get hit by that shot. But that's going to save us 1 cycle in this fight, if you will. The next cherry bomb, throw it at him, stuns him. Bam. Last cherry bomb of the game. Throw it. Time! Yeah! Yes!